Welcome in again, everybody, to Age of Wagers. I am your host, Brian Allen. We're doing our MLB picks for today. And the question, a seemingly simple one, who is going to get a hit today? That is all we were trying to figure out. For everybody who used to watch the old Chicago White Sox broadcast back on WGN, this would be what we call our pick the click. For everybody that's old enough to remember those. And back when WGN showed baseball, I missed those days. I won't even get into all the various services you got to try to use to watch baseball now. It is what it is. Trying to try to watch a game. Don't let me get off on my old man rant about that because I absolutely will. But yeah, just seemingly simple. One of the things I do around here, one of the content we focus on is MLB's Beat the Streak, where that is all you try to do is figure out who is going to get one hit. It seems perfectly simple. It is often not very simple at all, but that's a season-long contest that a lot of people do not want to do. That sort of thing, it is free to do if you try to do it. It is fun. I highly recommend you try it at least once. I promise you, if you enjoy any kind of fantasy baseball or just fantasy sports contest in general, I think you actually will enjoy that contest. I recommend you do it. Again, it's free. You could, in theory, win $5.6 million, although so far nobody has actually done that yet. Fingers crossed. This might be the year, but that is what that is. That if you're not doing that kind of contest, prediction markets are a great way to use these picks because the prediction market can actually put in just one thing. You don't have to do a parlay to play prediction markets. So I love that kind of thing as we try to, because, parlays are, as I'm sure, parlays are what built Vegas. Anytime you try to pick even two things, that the odds of figuring out what those two things are going to be increase dramatically. Not to say that I do those sometimes too. Prize picks, sleeper, et cetera, et cetera. Those are things. They do have good deals sometimes, discounts, or hey, you can 0.5 hits or something, not even some told you like 0.5 points on a basketball player. During the World Cup, they had 0.5 passes a lot as their gift pick, their giveaway pick, if you will. Also, for just figuring out who's going to get one hit, you can do one of their goblin picks, which is basically just a little, that's their, hey, one hit, which again, in theory, seems easy. Now, they're not going to pay you the full 3 times multiplier for just getting one hit because that is easier than figuring out who's going to get a hit run RBI, fantasy score. Although that said, I do when I use prize picks and other things to do parlays, I do sometimes I'll do fantasy score if I really think somebody is going to pop off, or as I said, hit runs, RBIs. They're even on prediction markets. If you really feel like somebody is going to keep tearing it up, you can bet for them to get 2 hits, and that has definitely happened with several of the players we've given you. When they're hot, they're hot. By the same token, the counteract to that is when they're not, they're not. It's kind of like the counter of there's always some kind of counter argument to almost everything in this world. But yeah, as I said, what we would do is that focus on really just the one thing: who is gonna get a hit. That can be, I promise you, very lucrative. I had a run of, for those of y'all that have been here for a while know, 23 in a row. That's my career long. Did play Beat the Streak with that. I'll be frank, who's been hotter than that? Pretty much nobody on the platform, I think, has given you 23 correct picks in a row on anything. So, yeah, tune my own horn, because, again, that has, as far as I know, never been done on this or any other platform before. If somebody else has, by all means, let me know. I will go check their content out. I'm perfectly happy to, as I said, sometimes do a prize pick. If I got something that just cashes all the time, I will add that to a parlay because it does feel like they're giving away money when you're hot. I look at that, not just looking at what hitters are hot. When I'm on a good run, I also look at, I'm kind of like a player in this contest too. I'm looking at how hot I am in terms of whether I'm going to keep. Just I feel like you'll be more aggressive, as a baseball player or basketball player would when they're really hot. The basket looks like the ocean, like you just can't miss. And definitely on the run I had, we were feeling like that. Heck, it's been a good season. My win rate has consistently been between 80 and 90%. I'm not joking. I'm not lying. You can absolutely go look back, see what we've been doing since pretty much the beginning of baseball season back in March. I'm knock on wood had very few long stretches where the picks were not cashing because it feels easy till you try to do it. Now, what also it seems easy to try to do is to remember when you're on a streak. Right now, two. It's easy to hold together. I will attempt to keep doing that as hopefully the streak gets longer and longer, more obnoxious till maybe I am threatening to win $5.6 million. Let us hope. So far on this run, we've had Victor Mesa Jr. got the run started for Tampa Bay. He has been an incredible player for them. Yet another great discovery for Tampa Bay, helping them stay in the race right now. Number two, Luis Ariz, if you're doing any kind of beat the streak or any kind of season-long contest or anything where you're trying to do just a big, long streak, for example, if you're trying to do streaks or ladders on underdog, I wish I had done more with that while I was, again, insanely hot. Which is another way if you're trying to pick a whole bunch of things to cash in a row, that's a contest that'll help you out. Luis Ariz has been great for that. Somebody that puts the bat on the ball very consistently in any kind of contest. Like, whenever you're trying to put together a streak, he is one of the best players, almost the player that you can kind of build this contest around or build your entries in this contest around. Every day, first thing I'm doing, there's a lot of things I look at, obviously, but first thing, every day, what is the reason not to pick Luis Ariz? Because he is incredibly consistent. Otto Lopez, somebody else that is putting, but they are battling for the batting average league, and they are putting the bat on the ball pretty much all the time for a season-long contest or anything where you're trying to put a big, long streak together where that matters. These are the prototypical hitters that you want to use for something like that. All that said, we're going to say all that and come up with somebody else in today's contest, and there are reasons. Without further ado, we're going to go with, to get a hit today, Fernando Tatis Jr., second-generation superstar of the San Diego Padres. He has been hot. Several hitters in the Padres lineup have been incredibly hot, really, since the All-Star break. And Tatis, in fairness, has been somebody I've gone to several times during the contest on Beat the Streak to tell you, hey, you've picked this player more than XYZ part of the population, and this hitter has cashed for you this many times. Crazily, and I'm going to throw all kinds of jinx, all kinds of bush on Fernando right now. He has cashed 100% of the time I've used him. I have not, I haven't wanted to overdo it. So I think it's maybe 5 or 6 times this year we have selected him, but still, while he is on 100 for me, I probably feel like I should have picked him a little more than what I have without totally going overboard. Because not like he's had a 23-game hitting streak at any point this year. Not to say that I'm better than Fernando Tatis. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, at some point, their streak breaks. So when you look at somebody that's had a 9-10-game hitting streak, in theory, the run is coming to an end fairly soon. There are outliers. Ildemaro Vargas, I think, had 20, over 20. I forget exactly how many. And unfortunately, I didn't get him into my lineups as much as what I should have. But yeah, I feel something about Tatis. I have not used Tatis probably as much this year as I should have. But we are picking Fernando to get us a hit today. Try to keep that 100% cash rating for us so far in this contest on Fernando Tatis, he's going against a guy named Junk. Jansen Junk of the Miami Marlins. Sounds like a creative player in one of those old baseball games where they couldn't actually use any of the real players' names. ERA of over 6. When we first started this back in March, we only had like a week or two of data to, hey, this is what we got right now. It's not necessarily, but yeah, at this point, we're well past the All-Star break. Everything we got now is good data. Fernando Tatis Jr., as he has been for pretty most of his career, is good at hitting the baseball. Jansen Junk, at least this year, has not been very good at throwing the baseball. That's just, those are the facts of the situation. Sometimes it's hopefully easier than what it looks like. We just take a really good hitter going against a really bad pitcher, and they give us what we need, just a single solitary hit for our purposes. No home runs. Although if they get that, that's great. Although Fernando Tatis' home run numbers have not been what we would typically expect from him this year. We're looking for contact for the contest that I'm playing primarily, and that hopefully that you're doing too. If you're following me, all that said, go ahead, leave me a like, leave me a comment, let the algorithm know you like what I'm talking about, you enjoy what I'm talking about. Helps me keep bringing these picks to you. We're going to do this. We're not going to do Beat the Streak, obviously. We're going to do Survivor and some other interesting contests during football season. That's kind of my thing on Age of Wagers, is I play some of the more, the more difficult, the more interesting contests like Beat the Streak, Survivor. This year, for the first time in my fantasy career, it's still a fantasy virgin for some of these contests. I'm going to do my first Guillotine League. I'm excited about that. For everybody that hadn't played that, what Guillotine League is in fantasy football, every week the team that gets the lowest score comes in essentially last place in the league. You out. Hence the name Guillotine. Finish the lowest score. You are out of there, and keep going until there can basically be only one. I'm excited. I said, we do crazy stuff around here, and a fair amount of the time it works so far. At the Age of Wagers, I've been Brian Allen. We'll see you in the next video, where I believe we'll be celebrating 3 hits in a row.